What's going on, traders? So, are you in INAB? Obviously, we know they had good phase one data, but what we're going to do is break down the technical analysis side of this thing and see what we're looking at as far as maybe the rest of today and tomorrow goes. So, when I'm trading intraday, I always like to trade on the 2 minute. It takes the traffic out of the 1 minute as well as gives us a little bit of a longer period to see a bit of the bigger picture. I always look 2 days back, but obviously this was moving on some news. So I like to just kind of gradually move up in size and kind of take a look at what we got. So 15 minutes, still can't really see anything. 30 minutes, still can't really see anything. 60 minute, you can start to see where we might get into something, but not too much. And the daily is where we start to see some stuff. So you can see the last 2 times this thing ran, for whatever reason it was, we had a pretty good area here at around 330. So is it a coincidence that if we go back down to the 2 minute, that's where it's struggling? I don't think so. So it's kind of how it always plays out. So back to the daily. Now, if we go to the weekly, we can actually scroll out. We can actually do this on the daily and we can kind of start looking at where we're at. So it'll let me on DOS. You can do it. It's got like this one little spot. There we go. All right. So this was a newer IPO back in, it looks like, what was this, August of 2021. And we pretty much went straight down from there and started to chop down in this $3 to a dollar range. However, we are coming back up to that as we saw when we were a little bit more zoomed in. So, what do you see after that? There's really not too much until you get up to this $5 area, right? If we scroll in a little bit on this section here, there's really not too many obvious touches except for if we scroll back down or go back down a little bit further into this 260 area, you could possibly use that. But really, that $5 area is our next area of resistance. So if we can get through that 330 area that we could see when we were nice and scrolled in, we could be looking for a potential upside move to around $5 if we're going strictly off of some technical levels. However, you can start to find smaller areas in here. Here's one at 4. I used it as support a bunch of times as well over here, even almost got up to there and used it as resistance a few times as well. But you do have to keep in mind a lot of the people that have been long this thing since its inception. There's going to be pretty good odds that some of them are underwater and they're going to be looking for a way to get out. So it's going to make it even harder for this to make its move. So if we go back to the 2 minute, or let's go back to the daily here, if it's scroll this way, you're going to see we just broke through that area. So it looks like it's moving pretty good. A little bit of a breakout through that area. The more we scroll in, even intraday, we could go ahead and start to draw some trend lines as well. I like to use the ray lines; they're just a little bit easier. I wouldn't. Looks like you could almost go from here, but I would think that this one's a little bit more valid up here, so we can use this and go right to the end here, which is going to be about the same. I can actually click where I'm trying to click. Apparently, I can't. There we go. So you can see a pretty obvious trend line. You can almost even see like a range if you want to kind of draw it here as well. I think this one a little bit better. There we go. You can see it's kind of in this little bit of a range as well. And we're breaking out of that channel. So I would say if we were to get a decent move here, you're probably looking around like 380. Halt price is currently at 393. So it's a pretty good spot. And then if you're looking to trade this up into, if we go back to the daily and scroll out again, that area that we were looking at up at $4, as well as possibly 5. That's a good chance that you could look for it to continue up through this channel. So obviously, if we come back down below 330, we break this lower trend line. You're probably looking at a retest of this area, right? We had some highs, some lows, support and resistance there at 270 area. You're probably going to get a retest of that most likely if this does decide to break both of those lines, right? So just a little bit of technical analysis looking forward on INAB. I know this was the hot mover today. I might be doing this on a daily basis, just finding what the hot mover is and kind of giving my quick overview on it. Everyone can read the news as they want. The fundamentals of a company, you can kind of do all that research on yourself. I think the technical analysis of a chart, regardless of what the news is always going to play a factor, just like we saw on the daily here. Those 2 previous touches at 330 have nothing to do with the news today, but yet it still respected that level and had a really nice pullback off of it earlier. And as you can see, once it got back up to it, that's where it's starting to try to break out again. So that's all I got in this one. Feel free to check out the other videos on the channel, volatilitydaytrading.com, if you're interested in how I trade personally. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.